Hey guys, Amy Jones here with Flippin Foreclosures, and today I want to share with you the 10 biggest things I wish I knew before I flipped 1,000 properties. And if you stick with me till the end, I'll share the fascinating story of how I ended up with the stitches in my forehead. Lesson number 1, never skip the dream team. The biggest challenge I have is that I'm good at a lot of things, and I can get good at anything that I put time and energy into. And the reason that's a challenge is because it's often less expensive to do it myself than it is to hire somebody else. If you can relate to this, then this lesson is for you as well. The humbling fact is that while I'm capable of getting good at a lot of things, I am not the best at anything. It is a better use of my time and my energy and my focus to utilize the skills of others. Building the team of people who are highly skilled and that you trust is the most valuable thing you can do in a business. Real estate is not excluded. I could only flip one house at a time. It would literally take me a year if I did everything myself. We were able to flip 60 houses at a time with a solid team and solid systems in place. The hidden cost of saving money by doing it yourself is greater than you could ever imagine. Lesson number 2, proper due diligence saves fortunes. The hardest part about proper due diligence is not what you know that's a problem, it's what you don't know, and you have to know what to look for to make sure you don't miss anything. For example, we had bought a property in foreclosure that had a square footage listed on the MLS that was 400 square feet smaller than the actual property was. They had included the garage in the overall square footage. That was a 400 square foot discrepancy on a small home, and that discrepancy was a $20,000 oops. After that, we verified square footage with the assessor's office on every property that we purchased to ensure that we didn't make that mistake twice. How close you are to a school, the impact of a busy street on your ARV, making sure you know what the resale value actually is, and being able to determine the rehab costs. Some of the more in-depth ones we've added to our due diligence checklist are verifying the properties are not on the meth list, making sure any properties that are in an HOA, like a condo or a townhome, are lendable for FHA. Generally, that means that less than 50% of the occupants are renters. Verifying liens, ensuring there's no past due balances on utilities, and always put your physical eyes on that property before you buy it. Lesson number 3, your cash buyers list is gold. So having a cash buyers list is one of the most critical elements of being in real estate investing. First, I want to give you the easiest way to get a cash buyers list. All you have to do is call your title company, ask them for a list of everyone in your farm that has purchased 3 or more properties in the last 6 months without a loan. For anyone who's new to real estate investing, and you don't know what a farm is, it's generally the geographic area that you either are an expert in or are becoming an expert in. So why is this list gold? Cash buyers are investors. So if you have too much inventory, you can wholesale to a cash buyer. If you're looking for inventory, you can call your cash buyer and ask them if they know anybody who has any available. If you need a contractor, you can call your cash buyers and ask them if they have anyone to recommend. If you're hiring a contractor, you can call them and ask them if they know if that contractor, if there's anything you should know about before hiring them, because often what you'll find is these investors are aware of who the contractors are, have worked with them in the past. So it's a really good way to kind of follow up with some of the bigger cash investors and be like, hey, have you ever hired this guy or this gal? Building relationships with your cash buyers will change the game of real estate investing for you. Lesson number 4. This is one of the biggest lessons, especially for new flippers. Knowing what to improve and what will give you a good return on your investment is critical. There are times that I finish basements, there are times that I don't. There are times that I'll replace kitchen cabinets, there's times that I'll just paint them. There are times that I replace the windows, there are times that I don't. There are times that I do a full rehab, there are times that I do a lender-ready rehab. The difference in a full rehab is that we're pretty much replacing everything, and on a lender-ready rehab, we're looking at paint, carpet, and fix what's broke. You are not going to live in this house, so make sure the home is livable, safe, and profitable. Lesson number 5, What sells a house? So you may have heard that the kitchen is what sells a home, and I fully agree with this statement and have seen the evidence time and time again. So definitely spend time making sure your kitchen is a comfortable space. The area that I don't think most flippers pay attention to enough and should give more time to is the visual experience from the front door. So imagine you're opening the front door and looking at this house for the first time. That's what your potential buyers are going to see. And you want to make sure that that moment is like the best gasp moment that you can create. There are times that I'll even switch the way a door swings, because if it opens this way, it's too close to a wall. And if it opens this way, it's nice and open. So you want to take into consideration, which direction does the door open? Is there anything that you can do to spice up the area when you're planning your remodel, when you're planning your staging? Make sure you stand with one foot in the door and analyze what will best improve what you can see from that particular point. This is your first impression for all of your potential buyers, so make it your best. Lesson number 6, contractors are not employees. I've managed thousands of employees over my lifetime, and contractors are not employees. They don't think like employees, they don't act like employees, and you can't manage them like employees. The day I realized that contractors should be managed differently than W-2 employees was the day that I began winning the contractor game. I no longer expected them to be on a job from 9 to 5. I didn't dictate what days they worked. I began managing them purely by scope and contract, and we built an understanding of expectations and support. So we added penalties to the contract for every day they're late, and it covered my carrying cost and gave me more sanity. We added bonuses to the contract for every day they were early, which gave them an incentive to complete early without me having to pressure them on a daily basis and drive every project. And when they gave freedom to work side jobs without concern of losing me as a consistent vendor, I gained good contractors for the long haul. They were able to make their own decisions on what needed to be done and in what order to hit their timelines. They were able to take higher paying one-off jobs with my support and enthusiasm. So that changed the way that they treated me in my jobs. It sounds counterintuitive, but it made them more loyal to me by giving them more freedom to manage their lives and their schedules. Lesson 7, measuring success. The best you can is not a sustainable measurement, nor is it a measurement of success. Creating measurable goals makes all the difference in decision-making and growing the business. Having our KPIs updated on a weekly basis gives us access to how we are doing compared to the past and compared to our goals. So we use rolling trends showing the direction the company is moving in and whether we're getting closer or further away from our goals. So having these conversations with everyone on the team and getting alignment changes the game. Lesson number 8, design consistency matters. We have 2 full rehab scopes, brown and gray. Each scope comes with a full materials list and color palette. We use browns on older homes and we use grays on more modern homes. So the benefit of having only 2 color schemes is that we can literally walk into a house and say, this is a gray house or this is a brown house. And the entire team knows exactly what materials to order for that home. The other benefit is that any leftover paint and materials can just be moved to the next project, and we don't carry any extra inventory. So if any of you flippers out there have an entire warehouse of extra inventory, this might be your saving grace. Lesson number 9, document everything. We created a folder system and naming convention so that every time we look for a specific document, we can find it on that address in moments. So we save everything to Dropbox so we can pull it up anywhere from our phones. This has saved us a tremendous amount of time and effort. When we need specific documents, we always know exactly where to find them. When flipping houses, especially at volume, the last thing you want is for your day to be filled up with unnecessary administration. The other benefit of documenting everything is we're able to go back and look up prior results that we want to reuse. So for example, there are times when we're like, hey, I want to paint the exterior of this house the same way that we did that other house a while ago. Do you remember that house over on that street? What color was that? All we have to do is open that house, look at the materials order. We know exactly what color we used. Sometimes we use a vendor that we don't typically use for like a specific need, and then we need to find that vendor again. Having everything documented makes it really easy to repeat previous results. The other thing that's been really helpful is I've been able to hold vendors accountable to their pricing because I have copies of all their invoices. And it's quick and easy to send an email saying, hey, why did the cost per square yard go up? And then ask that vendor to go back to our previously agreed upon pricing. Documenting everything will save you time and money. Lesson number 10, flip 2, keep 1. The best advice that I received and didn't follow. I was always told I would never regret the properties I kept, but I would regret the properties that I sold and wished I kept. While we did build a hold portfolio, I wish I would have kept some of our flips as well, especially the ones that weren't highly profitable when we sold them. If I had kept them, I would have made $100, $200 extra $1,000 on them, and we barely broke even. So if you hold properties long enough, eventually they will always go up in value. In the meantime, you get tax advantages and passive income from renting it out. So the flipping business is an income business, but holding properties is a wealth building business. So thank you for coming for the top 10 things I wish I had known when I first started flipping houses. And as promised, I'm going to tell you about this little bump on my noggin. So over the weekend, I went to a Taekwondo competition. And if you haven't noticed yet, you will notice that in all my videos, I'm wearing some sort of Taekwondo related shirt. That's because Taekwondo is the thing that I get to do with my kids. And I do that for this channel because that's the ability that flipping real estate has given me, is the freedom to travel around the world with my kids and compete in Taekwondo. We competed in Worlds in Korea last year and took 3rd place. We're going to Worlds again this year. We went to Oaxaca, Mexico, and did a training seminar on some of the kids that we were concerned had trafficking concerns. So it's just been a really big experience for our lives. And so this weekend, I was holding a board, and the board in front of me was broken, and it came and it hit my head before mine was kicked, and that's what happened to my noggin. So there you go. Thanks for sticking around. Remember, successful flipping isn't about finding good deals. It's about having systems and knowledge to execute them properly. Make sure you drop a comment below with which of these tips surprised you the most. And if you're serious about your real estate investing journey, click the link in our description to join our school community.